There is a generation of kids who grew up watching five teenagers save the world. Robin, Starfire, Cyborg, Raven, Beast Boy, and they fought Slade, they stopped Trigon, they watched Terra betray them and then sacrifice everything to make it right. For 3 years, this show was everything. And then it was gone. No proper ending, no closure, just a final episode that left fans with more questions than answers. That was 2006. If you grew up with these characters, hit that subscribe button. We're deep diving into the history of the shows that shaped us. Fans waited, they signed petitions, they begged for a sixth season. 7 years later, Cartoon Network finally brought Teen Titans back. Sort of. They brought back the same characters, the same voice actors, even the same name, but they killed everything that made it special. And then they made episodes mocking the fans who missed the original. This is the story of Teen Titans, and this is how Cartoon Network turned a beloved show into a punchline. Chapter 1: The Birth of Something Special. 2003. A man named Glen Murakami is about to create something new. Murakami had worked on Batman Beyond, Superman, the animated series. He learned from Bruce Timm. He knew how to make superheroes feel real. But Teen Titans would be different. Sam Register at Cartoon Network wanted a superhero show for younger audiences. He grew up reading the Marv Wolfman and George Perez New Teen Titans comics from the 80s. He wanted to bring that to television. He brought Murakami on board. And Murakami had an idea. What if they made an American cartoon that looked like anime? This was 2003. American animation did not look like this. But Murakami loved shows like Speed Racer and Kimba the White Lion. He wanted that energy, that style, that emotion. The result was something people started calling Murakanime. July 19, 2003, Teen Titans premieres on Cartoon Network.
Hive Academy for Extraordinary Young People is proud to introduce this year's top graduates. Well-organized, highly trained, and combat-equipped, these new Hive agents are the perfect fighting force. And for the right price, this ideal team can be yours.
If your students are going to serve me, they'll have to pass one final exam. Destroy the Teen Titans, and then we'll talk.
5 teenage superheroes living together in a giant T-shaped tower, fighting villains, dealing with each other, growing up. The animation was fluid, the action was intense, the characters felt real. But here is what made it special. The show knew when to be funny and when to be serious. The theme song had 2 versions. When an episode was comedic, they played the Japanese version. When it was serious, they played the English version. That tiny detail tells you everything about how much thought went into this show. The voice cast was perfect. Scott Menville as Robin, the driven leader with something to prove.
Whatever that thing was, it can't hurt you now.
Tara Strong as Raven, the dark, mysterious one hiding unimaginable power.
It did happen. We cannot change the truth, no matter how much we dislike it.
Harry Payton as Cyborg. For him, this was his first voice acting job ever. He became the heart of the team.
Pleased to meet you, little lady.
Greg Seepers as Beast Boy, the comic relief who could also break your heart.
But I'm dumb enough to try anything.
Hendon Walsh as Starfire, the alien learning what it means to be human.
Am I interrupting?
These 5 actors would define these characters for a generation, and they had no idea what was coming. Chapter 2: The Golden Era. Teen Titans ran for 5 seasons, 65 episodes, and each season focused on a different character. Season 1 was Robin, the main villain was Slade, voiced by Ron Perlman with this calm, terrifying menace that still gives people chills. They could not call him Deathstroke because that name was too violent for a kid's show, so they used his first name. Slade became one of the greatest animated villains ever, not because he had powers, but because he got inside the heroes' heads.
We appear to be evenly matched and equally ruthless. Not surprising. You and I are so very much alike.
The season finale, Apprentice. Robin is forced to become Slade's apprentice to save his friends. It was dark, it was intense, it was not what people expected from a cartoon. Season 2 was Terra, a girl with earth powers who joins the team. Beast Boy falls in love with her, and then she betrays them all, working for Slade the entire time. This was adapted from the Judas Contract, one of the most famous Teen Titans comic storylines. and they did it justice. The finale, Aftershock. Terra realizes what she has done. She sacrifices herself to stop a volcano, turns to stone, saving the city. Beast Boy loses the girl he loves. The team loses a friend. And audiences watched a cartoon deal with grief in a way most adult shows cannot manage. Season 3 was Cyborg, fighting Brother Blood and the Hive Academy. Season 4 was Raven, and this is where the show reached its peak. Raven has a secret. Her father is Trigon, a demon who wants to use her to destroy the world. The season builds to a 3-part finale called The End. Trigon wins. The world is destroyed. Everything is fire and death. The Titans are turned to stone. Raven has to face her father alone.
You may have created me, but you were never my father.
This was supposed to be the final season. The creators thought they were ending the show, so they went all out. The animation, the emotion, the stakes, everything was elevated.
Insignificant.
And then Cartoon Network ordered a 5th season. Season 5 focused on Beast Boy and the Doom Patrol. It introduced dozens of new young heroes, the Brotherhood of Evil as villains. It was good, but everyone knew something was wrong. The creators had been told this would be the last season for real this time, and they had to figure out how to end it. Chapter 3: The Mysterious Death. January 16th, 2006. The final episode of Teen Titans airs. It is called Things Change. Beast Boy sees a girl who looks exactly like Terra. Same face, same hair, same everything. But she says she does not remember him.
Maybe you don't remember, but I do. You're my friend. You're a Teen Titan.
You're wrong.
You don't belong here, Terra.
Stop calling me that.
She says she is not Terra. She wants him to leave her alone. The episode ends with Beast Boy accepting that things change, that he cannot go back to the way things were. No closure on Terra. No explanation for how she might be alive. No final battle. No triumphant goodbye. Just a quiet, sad ending that left fans devastated. Writer Amy Wolfram later admitted the vagueness was intentional. Quote, "The way that I wrote that press blurb was very specific. It was written fairly vague on purpose because that will probably be our last episode." They knew, and they chose ambiguity over answers. But why was the show cancelled in the first place? This is where it gets complicated. There are at least 4 different explanations. David Slade, the head writer, said Mattel wanted the show dead. Bandai had the toy deal for Teen Titans. Cartoon Network announced Mattel as their new master toy licensee in 2006. Convenient timing. Story editor Rob Hogie said Cartoon Network told Warner Brothers there would be no season 6 because of low ratings, specifically from season 4. The scary one, the good one. Will Wheaton, who voiced Aqualad, claimed new executives at Warner Brothers feature animation, rejected the season 6 spin. And there is another theory. The show had too many female fans, which made it harder to market action figures, because apparently girls do not buy toys. The truth is probably some combination of all of these, but here is what we know for certain. A 6th season was pitched. It would have focused on Starfire, the only main character who never got her own season arc. It would have expanded the team, introduced new villains. Glen Murakami wanted to use characters like Phobia and Ravager. The pitch was rejected. Teen Titans was dead, but the characters were not. And 7 years later, Cartoon Network finally brought Teen Titans back, sort of.
We're dropping the next part of this story very soon, where we look at the controversial birth of Teen Titans Go and the fallout that followed. Subscribe to the channel to support us and get notified when the second part 2 drops. I want to hear from you in the comments. How did you feel when you first saw things change? And let us know how we can keep improving.